Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another unnecessarily but hopefully iconically ambitious episode of Junkyard Digs. Today we're going to be seeing if I can drive this 1986 Dodge Ramcharger 1 hour home. Now those of you who are quite observant will notice that it's missing one or two pieces. So I'm going to put this back together, attempt to drive it 1 hour home to our shop in 2 days by myself. Apparently I lied. I'm not alone. I swear to God, there's a dog here just a second ago. I'm seeing things. Okay, well. Okay, so the backstory on why the hell I'm here right now. A week ago, a Cummins on a chassis was posted, and I came and picked it up for, you know, you never know when you need a 12-valve Cummins that's cheap. And the guy said, do you want a 318 as well? You can have it. I'm moving. It needs to go away. Who knows when you need a 318 core? Yeah, see, I'm not lying. There's a dog. Hey, pupper. Oh, good boy. Down, down. Oh, my God. Anyway, right as I was leaving, I was like, oh, shit, wait, let me see that 318. He's like, it's over here. It's still on this chassis. If you want, you can have the whole chassis. Pretty decent looking frame. Like, there's still paint on the whole front 2/3 of this frame, and then even here in the back where the only little bit of surface rust really is, there's still paint poking through. I'm like, you don't find Mopar frames in this condition. Of course, I said, yeah, I'm interested in that, but where's the rest of the truck? This thing looks like it might have been a low mile chassis. At which point I come inside and see this surprisingly mint 86 Ramcharger. So I ask him, I say, what are you gonna do with this? He goes, oh, I don't know, it's gotta go, it's in my way, I'm probably gonna scrap it. You guys know me, I can't let that happen, so I say, can I have the body as well? He goes, dude, you can have the whole thing if you get out of my way. Even comes with a title. So that's the story of why I'm here today and why I'm going to be taking on this likely impossibly large task single-handedly because everyone else is busy or gone. It is currently Monday at 10 a.m. Thursday at 8 a.m. I fly out to North Carolina to hang out with the Cars and Cameras guys again for another backyard go-kart race, which means I have exactly 3 days, and one of those I need to pack and get everything situated before I leave. So I essentially have 2 days to get this truck back together and drive it back to our shop. I don't want to do this. It's going to be hell, but I'm going to do it for you guys because I love you guys that much and you're that supportive of all the content we make that I'm gonna just suffer and get this done. All right, enough talking. Let's take a look at this truck. So the truck does have some rust, a bit poking in the door there. Looks like the rockers are out of it behind the door, and quarters need done. It's already got some Bondo in it there. Also some poking through up here. So either this was a previous restoration and that's why there's Bondo in it that's popping out in a few spots, or this is a really low mile truck. It only shows 35 on the odometer, so either is an option, but I don't know. But yeah, she's up here on wood blocks. I'm gonna get to thinking about what the hell I can do to try to get that chassis back under this, bolt it down, and get started. It is windy as hell out here today, so you have to excuse me. It's gonna be a bit of background noise, I'm sure. Step one, dig this thing out, see what we got. There's radiator support. Battery tray, one hood hinge. One inner fender, radiator, and shroud. I see the hoses are still on the block, so that's good. AC condenser. Oh, and an AC pump. It was an AC truck. Kick ass. Inner fender and fender. Driver's side. A pristine grill. Man, this thing's in good shape. Passenger, quantity 1, unit H. Fender. And then a body. I think my plan is to move these out, take the center supports out, bring the frame in on casters, roll it right under, set it down. It's gonna be a lot easier said than done. But I wonder if I can leverage one corner off. No. Oh shit. Oh, this is sketchy. That might come in handy. should be wide enough that our chassis can go right underneath. Might have to raise it up to clear a couple spots, but this is a start. Okay, put this sumbitch inside. Oh yeah, this concrete's terrible. Why? Alright. This is John, this is who's giving us the truck.
Hey, how you doing?
You said this sat for 20 years before you got it?
I believe so, man. I was a little kid driving by that house and seen that Ramcharger sitting there for a long time.
Alright, well, I'm going to put it back in the casters, get it under the chassis, which I can already tell is too low.
Yeah.
Woohoo! Alright, so I've made some progress. I've got this up a few more notches, which should be just enough to clear the high end of this frame. As you can tell, I've taken the rear wheels off because I figured it would be safer to lower the chassis than try to raise the body anymore. I don't want to go any higher than that. It's already starting to sketch me out, especially since I'm the only one out here. While I was jostling this damn thing around trying to get this heavy son of a bitch over here, I realized that the gas tank still had about half a tank of fuel in it. So before I put it under the chassis, I'm going to take this time to go ahead and drain that sucker out. There's a little bit of chipping right here by this mount, but I think I can just clean that up and rust convert it. Yeah, it's really thin, and that would be just fine. The exhaust shields are still on it. Like, look at this, there's paint, and not because it's covered in grease, it's actually fairly clean, but there's paint all the way to here on these frame rails. And the whole truck, even the body, is solid till here, and then all the rust starts in the truck and on the frame, and that's because the rear wheels are here, throwing all that salt brine up into all the cracks of the body. And Mopar especially was really bad at corrosion prevention. Up through here and down into these, fills this area of the rocker and fills this with the quarter, and then they rust out. But other than that, truck's in pretty goddamn good shape. I'd say this truck is good enough to save, especially since it's still got a title. So we're gonna do all the work to make that happen. All right, we'll be back when it's time to finally put this under there. This is going to be where the fun part starts. This obviously can't go in all the way because there's supports in the back, so I'm going to need to figure something out to hold the back of the truck up. I'm going to reassess and then we'll attack again. Okay, so I have implemented the sketchiest goddamn thing I've ever done on camera. Don't ever do this. Ever. Just get a skid loader like anyone else would. 4x4 being hoisted up by the jack and a 6x6 and a couple straps tied under so that this acts as a long leveraged extension of the vehicle, so I can pick it up essentially from behind the hitch, and I have to get the hitch of the truck all the way out to here for all the pins to line up. So here we go. Oh, it's making a lot of noises. I don't like that. Get this out of here. Get the chassis under it as fast as I can. Easy does it. All we gotta do is not bump that body and we're good. Okay, dangerous shit is done. It falls now. Hopefully it just falls right into place and I put the nuts on. Let's make that happen. Alright, so I've searched high and low and I could not find any more body bushings for the main mounts up front. We have one that's in there. That some bitch is like that tall, which means I can't run none because our fenders and everything are just gonna hit like here. That's not gonna work. So I'm gonna try to get the back ones lined up so this thing's not just sitting in the air. And then I've got an idea of what I can use for spacers. All right, the body is sitting on the rearmost set of cab mounts right back here. Most of them are cut, like all but 3, I think. Should be able to drop this down. Oh. Yeah, like that. And we'll sit on the chassis. Hell yeah. All right, so a trip to town has given us body mounts and hardware to attach said body mounts. They're not actually body mounts. I had to find something that would work. The obvious answer that I'm sure everyone's already said in the comments at this point is hockey pucks. Well, there's 2 problems with that. I don't have a drill to put a hole in the center of a hockey puck, and I'm in absolutely the middle of nowhere. I'm on top of a hill right now, and besides this house, I cannot see another building. Like, there's nothing. But rest assured, when there is nothing, there is always something nearby, and that is some little family-owned hardware store. So I zipped on down to said True Value and grabbed ourselves the new body mounts. Rolls of cheap-ass electrical tape. They're black, they're really strong, they might have a little rubbery give to them, and there's already a hole in the middle. If you ask me, that's better than a hockey puck, because you can peel tape off and make it a different size. So I'll stack these in there, use themselves to hold them in place, and then drop the body down on the frame. I Googled it to see if anyone had one in stock. It was like upwards of $150 for a bushing set for this truck. You know how much I spent at True Value? $11.30. And they are the exact width of the one bushing that's still in there. You can do absolutely anything if you're creative enough. Or dumb enough. But those are like different avenues that get to the same answer. So we're just gonna go with creative. Let's drop this bitch on. So drop the other on, and there it is. There we have it. The body has been remounted onto the frame for the first time in, I think actually only a couple months. But moral of the story, I still had to do it, so it's still a monumental moment. All right, now that our body is on, we can go ahead and move to the fun stuff. I noticed that someone took the motor mount bolts off. Earlier I happened to find the bucket of bolts that's for this truck, which is miscellaneous hardware, and I found the motor mount nuts. So I'm gonna get those back on and then go ahead and go through and take inventory of all the missing hardware I think I can find. It is currently 4 o'clock, so I believe it took 5 hours to get that body on, and there was a trip to town in there and other stuff that pops up whenever I try to do anything. Don't know if we're gonna be driving this back to Ames, but hopefully, nonetheless, be driving up and down the road tomorrow afternoon. The whole theatrical goal here is drive this home, but the real hardline goal is make this one assembly so I only have to do one trip to take it home and get rid of it. Alright, so we've done all this work, and all I know about this motor is that it spins over pretty easy. That's it. No idea if it's any good or anything. So I figure it's about time I go through this electrical system and hook up whatever we need to see if we can make this thing crank. So of course, to make this crank, we need to do some wiring and figure out what everything here is. Since I did not take this apart, it's going to be a fun time to say the least. One of these is going to be all of our headlights and stuff, which I believe is this one since there's light bulbs in it. This is probably relays, and that looks like a voltage regulator. Usually the ignition module is right back there, sure is. So I'm just going to go ahead and hook up a bunch of freaking wires and figure this out, and then I'll be back to show you what I did or did not learn or accomplish. Okay, got a few connections hooked up. I've taken a moment to realize exactly how much I grossly underestimated this project. Now I'm questioning my sanity. But yeah, we're gonna throw power at this and see if I die. Now, the body does not have a ground right now. We'll go turn the key and see what happens. What the hell? Oh. Oh. I guess it cranks, and it does so indefinitely. Sounds like we have one weak cylinder there. Let's try that again. I think the key, even though I got the roll back, I think the actual jabby-do is all stuck because this bearing here is just chilling, so I'm assuming things are wonk. Okay, I know it looks like nothing changed besides the fact that I took the air filter off and got a good look at the ugliest quadrajet I've ever seen. But I hooked the brake lines up because I saw they still had fluid in here, so I didn't want that to all leak out. And in doing so, it established a ground between the chassis and the body. As you can tell, things happen in here now. We've got one of this. Oh, well, yeah, there we go. One of that. Got a blower motor. Hell yeah. We've got dash lights. Oh, wipers, but there's no wipers. A horn relay. Horns are over there in a bucket. It says electric windows. And they don't work. Damn it. Electric locks. Where? That's the craziest thing I've ever seen. Look at this. That's the switch. I wonder how many of these got broke by people just smashing them down. I'm gonna go ahead and hook a few more things up here and see if this thing will crank and have spark. Alright, well apparently establishing a ground was all I needed to do to make the motor stop continuously cranking, so I have no idea why that did what it did, but let's see if we got spark. I can hear it sparking actually. We do indeed. I don't think you guys can see it, but I can see spark hopping right here. So now, obviously, the next thing we do is immediately throw some carb cleaner down his throat and see if this thing makes some noise. Because I've been busting ass all day and I want to see something out of it. Alright, I've taken a floor jack and lifted the rear tires off the ground because anytime I cannot absolutely confirm that something is in park or neutral, I make sure it cannot run me over and kill me because I'm not a big fan of dying. Key on. Contact. Yes! Yes! Woo! She's a runner. It's loud because there's no bolts on that exhaust over there. One more. One more. Why not? Hell yes. Okay, time to take inventory of all the bolts I need to get and go to True Value one more time before they close, and probably see what I'm gonna need for parts as well, maybe make an O'Reilly's run. Let's make it happen. All right, we've got some new hardware in the header here. I still need to do these, but I'm not too worried about these until we get a water pump that actually spins. Oh. Oh. Okay, that changes a few things. Alright, put water pump on the list. Got it. Anyway, I've got new hardware and the exhaust. There's no gaskets because I don't have any and I don't care. But more importantly, I have the boat tank hooked up to the fuel pump. So let's go ahead and see if that thing works. Loosen that up so we can watch for fuel. And now we will run it off the can until we see some fuel. I have discovered that for whatever reason cranking it with the key inside the truck will not start the motor. I have to use this jumper wire. So I'm sure there's probably something hooked up wrong or blah blah blah. Alright, there's fuel. Tighten that back down, see if this carburetor works. I really doubt it. It is rusty as hell. As much as I dislike quadrajets, I will say they are some of the toughest damn sons of bitches I've ever seen when it comes to carburetors. You can just let them sit outside in the rain like this forever, and they don't care. So accelerator pump won't work, but they will run and drive pretty much just fine, even in the worst of conditions. I think the accelerator pump works, I don't know. Oh, maybe this one won't work, we'll see. It doesn't want to idle, but it does run. Oh, trans fluid's dripping. That's good. Means the transmission might work. Alright, well it looks like our last job for tonight is take this water pump off because we're going to have to get a new one before we could ever make it anywhere. So, I'm going to make that happen. Huh. I figured that would be way more rusty inside. It's just seized. Well, can't say I've ever seen that before. Pick one of these up tomorrow and hop back into it. Alright, so yeah, I'm at a good stopping point for today, like I said. I'm going to move all this stuff back over here in case they need to move that badass tow truck while I'm gone. But yeah, this is the part where we fade to black and then we'll see you in the morning. Actually, you know what? I got a better view for you guys to fade the black on. Good morning, and welcome back to Poor Decisions. I'll be your host today. We have lots of poor decisions to make, so let's dig into it. I spent the morning here off camera cleaning up all these bolt holes the best I can and cleaning the threads on said bolts for the bolt holes. So those should be good to go. I'm going to RTV both sides of this gasket with a nice thin layer of RTV to eat up any inconsistencies in the surface, and then we'll get this water pump on. Alright, get the rest of the bolts in there and get that sucker tightened out. Alright, a little bit of progress update. I got our alternator hung. That was really fun to figure out how all this bracketry went. The big banana bracket goes on the bottom, and then in the bottom corner of the head, there's a flange that catches. And there's little tabs up here and a bolt and blah blah blah. I was taking the pulley off the old water pump when suddenly it began to spin just fine, although there is a lot of bearing noise. So it would have needed replaced either way, and it looks like it absolutely would have leaked. So 30 bucks, not gonna leak on the way home, that's fine with me. The problem was that someone used some random ass bolt that was too long, and it bottomed out into the base down here. If you ever see a water pump that's seized, look for one bolt head that doesn't match. Now I know, would have never thought to check that before. I'm gonna get some belts on here, then we'll be back. Okay, a little time has passed. I realized I need to pick up one more belt, but I've got some other lines and stuff all hooked up here. Something that totally skipped my mind yesterday was the fact that I never plugged any vacuum lines in. So I just went through and disconnected everything to do with the evap and HVAC and hooked the brake booster back up, which was wide open, and plugged off every missing vacuum port that I could find. So let's see if this runs any better today. I bet it's a world of difference if I had to guess. Almost. Yep, all the dogs in the neighborhood are barking. Oh, you're loose. That's why. Yeah, I would scream like that too if I was loose. All right, I tightened the belt and put the return springs on the carburetor finally. Let's see how it do. Oh yeah, that might help. That's pretty damn good. I'm very impressed by that carburetor. All right, so I think everything here is done. It's time to put the front of the truck on. Oh, dear. Definitely missing a lot of hardware and stuff, but hey, just trying to get it close enough to go together enough to make it most of the way home. I don't know why I couldn't put this in now and start checking for leaks instead of waiting, so I'm gonna do just that. I haven't seen a fan yet, so that's probably concerning, but yeah, I'm gonna get this all plumbed up and put in place and whatnot and get some water in this thing. Looks like we got some weather rolling in, so I'm losing a bit of my light in here. But I got some water to see if this radiator leaks before I put the good stuff in. Well, now I'll never know. Great. Damn it. Who could have ever foreseen this? I don't think I've made a single drop in the truck. I can't tell if the petcock's open or I just spilled 9.5 gallons, and I think 9.5 gallons is the answer. Huge coolant leak right here between the timing cover and the block. Shit. I even RTV'd those bolts. Well, let's see what a little more torque does. I must have just forgot to torque these earlier because they were a little loose, and now no more leaky. So, crisis averted. We'll keep moving forward with putting things on the truck. Looks like we got some rain coming. Good for the corn, but bad for filming. It's raining bats and frogs out there. My camera is literally peaking the audio. I got the belts on and filled everything, so everything here is done. I'm gonna go ahead and put the inner fenders on and then the fenders. It's so damn loud and dark, I don't even know if I'm gonna be able to film anything, but I'm gonna fire this to show that it's running. I don't know if you're even gonna be able to hear this run. Uh-oh. I don't know if our fuel system's working. Kind of seems like we just ran out of gas. Maybe our tank is no good after all. I should have pulled fuel by now. That was one of the most sudden stoppages to a storm I've ever seen. It was just wah, boop, done. No more. You know, I learned something the other day I never knew. Let's say there's a 40% chance of rain in your area. That does not mean that there's a 40% chance it's going to rain. That means that 40% of the people in your area will see rain. Anyway, yeah, back to this truck. Let's get some fenders on it, now that I can see a little better.
Unless you just lift the front up too to compensate.
I had thought about it. I'm out of electrical tape. I'm on the phone with Dylan right now because I've had some terrible body gaps over there, but I can't open the door putting that fender on. So, Dylan, tell everyone hi.
Hi, Dylan.
What? What?
Oh, what?
Dylan's been struck by a train. Twice, 2 trains. Looks like I need to switch my 2 rolls of electrical tape to the bottom. That should fix everything. 3 trains. Is there a tornado or some shit? Holy hell. This is insane. In other news, got all my mounts correct this time. I'm gonna bolt everything down and finish getting the fenders on. I had a really bad panel gap earlier that I couldn't even get the doors open, and I realized that the 2 pieces of electrical tape needed to be below the mount, not above it. So I got that straightened out, which is looking way better now. Alright, the rain has finally slowed enough that I can use the camera again. Anyway, the passenger fender is now on and properly gapped and actually looking pretty good. I'm gonna sit down and have myself some supper, other half of my Subway sandwich from like 1 o'clock, and then finish up this side. Chicken bacon ranch, you beautiful bastard. Hey, comments section, what's your favorite Subway sandwich? Or even like sub in general if Subway's not your thing. Alright, our fenders are hung. It's now time to get all this electrical back in its home. Which of course requires figuring out where the hell its home is, for starters. Alright, get all this wiring back in its clips to the best of my ability, which is not very good. And then fish everything through for the headlights. Now that all of our wiring is in place, it's time for the absolute most crucial, critical part of the entire truck. The horn. We might only have 2 body mounts in the entire truck, but we'll be safe because we have horns. Time to add a little style to everything. Put our valence back. This thing is in literally, absolutely perfect. Oh, sorry, I lied. There's one little dent, but besides that, perfect condition. I do not understand how the front of this truck is so straight and clean. And actually, I haven't seen a single dent in the entire truck, so someone really cared for this thing at one point. If I had a guess, it spent most of its life with the front half in a shed and the ass half sticking out. All right, I've got the hood hinges and the antenna on. Now it's time for this lower valence. After I take these bolts off that I forgot. All right, get that bolted into place. Time to put our grill on. Not bad for a full day's work. Definitely feel like I did less today. I mean, yesterday I put the whole body on and made the motor run, and today I just put fenders on. But in all actuality, this was an assload of work because we now have a radiator. Of course, before we did the bushings, everything here under the hood is done. It is currently 11 p.m. and it is time for me to go home, so I'm not making a bunch of noise at these people's place and they don't come out with a baseball bat and beat the heck out of me. So I'm gonna load the truck up, do a quick inventory with our Tang tools, which is really, really easy because everything's in organized foam trays. So I can go, and I know I got all my tools, lock that sucker up, and head home to go to bed. Tomorrow morning I'm gonna bring Mook out here to help me put the hood on so I don't damage anything, and then help me bleed the brakes, and we'll see if this thing finally drives. I may have literally done all this work just to realize that it has a bad transmission. I don't know yet. That's just part of it, part of the fun. All right, I'll see you guys in the morning. Peace. All right, day 3, the final day. I know I said it'd take 2 days. I know I said I'd do it myself, but hey, it took 2 days for me to do it myself this far, and I need someone to help pump brakes and lift hoods and stuff like that.
And
Drive the truck home. Yeah, you're right.
and you sit on a throne of lies.
What?
Because you said it would take 2 days.
I already.
Here we am. 3.
You're stinky. Well, Mook, what do you think?
Well, it's a Ramcharger.
Well, if you don't like this one, there's another one that I purchased yesterday that you can have. It's right here. You want to see it?
No.
Come on, let's see it. Da da da.
Bye.
We got it for $500. Ain't that great? I just have no idea what to do with the world's ugliest Bronco 2. Maybe that'll be a future video.
Maybe you should have saved your $500.
Well, let's get a tripod and some tools and get this thing together. Got it?
Go ahead.
Alright, that's good. Okay. Now the bottom on the other side. Alright, we'll bolt that down and we'll have a hood.
Alright, I am going to attempt to put this dash back together. Step number 1 is dumping all the poop off of your dash cover thingy bob. That's a really important part, don't skip it. What the heck am I supposed to do with all these? Ta-da! Now I just need the duct tape. Just kidding, I have to find the screws.
Check it out, Mook. We got light thingies. Can you turn on the headlights, ma'am? Hey! We even got a marker light. We got both marker lights. Alright, headlights off. Key on. Alright, left blinker. Holy shit, right blinker. That's a bad bulb. Anything outside? Yep. Alright, bolt the last piece on up front. What you doing?
My best.
Well, I got a bumper. I'm gonna go put it on.
I did it!
You did
I
it?
think. It doesn't look right, but it's on.
It's kind of the whole truck so far, so. You're on par.
There, now it looks better.
Alright, before I put the rear bumper on, I figured I'd fix a little bit of wiring. I only had to just reconnect everything and then splice 2 wires. Let's see if it worked. Headlights. Hey, brake lights. Hey, sweet. How about blinkers? Alright. Holy heck. Mook, all the electrical works. Heck. Well, what do you say we put that bumper on?
I suppose.
Me too. Okay, we got our bumper on. Little plastic thing I took off to lift up the bodies back on. It's time now to put this interior panel on, and then, like, that's it. At that point, we start taking stuff back off because a few things need fixed. I know the radiator leaks, and I know of a bunch of other problems I haven't mentioned yet, so my hopes of driving this back to Ames, not the highest, but we'll give it a go. We'll at least see how far we make it down the road. Mook is putting the icing on the cake right now. Final touches. There's no cake. However, our thirsty dog that I just gave a bunch of water has spilled the water bowl once again. What are you doing? I don't know if I've shown this, by the way. Check out this bad ass tow truck that this guy's got. Apparently, somewhere during the time of the war, some company in town needed a tow truck. So they got, I was told, a frame from an officer's vehicle, and then the body of an old Dodge, and built all of this. And the axle or something back here is from a Model A. They just threw it all together and built this bad-ass tow truck. And the thing runs and drives and works. I'm not gonna mess with it, but there's a flathead in there. This thing is an absolute beast, and I love it. All right, well, there it is. That's the last piece. 1:30 on Wednesday. Started at 11 o'clock on Monday. The panel gaps are pretty bad, but I don't care. All we have to do is drive home. In the end, I have only 2 of the big body mounts that are working. That one I was able to get a nut on. This one's stripped out. The one on that corner stripped out. And that one over there I got a nut on. So we got radiator supports and 2 body mounts, and that's it. Can I help you? I've decided that the factory gas tank is going to be a no-go for us today. So I plumbed up the boat tank that I carry with me, and we're going to run this sucker again until it fills the bowls and sits here and idles. When you rev it, but all right, we got fuel. At this point, Mook, we need to go to town and get ourselves a throttle cable. Oh no, first let's do the brakes. See if we break anything doing the brakes. Then we pick that all up as well.
It's probably a good call.
Yeah. All right, let's bleed brakes. This is boring stuff. We'll be back when it's done. All right, so our brakes are done. I bled them up here at the master just to take the short route before going all the way down and doing anything on the bottom. And sure enough, they bled out just fine from up here. So we have a nearly perfect brake pedal, very little work. So I'm very happy about that. Our interior is all back together, as you can see. I need to replace the throttle cable because someone cut it, and then they also cut the shift linkage. So I'm going to take that down to the guy's shop, weld it up, get those back on, and we should be good to go on a little test drive. I'm cleaning out the interior a little bit right now. Took those ugly seat covers off, and honestly, this interior is beautiful inside. I freaking love the colors of this truck. Love the interior colors. Really wish it was in better shape because this thing would be pretty badass to have. The reason the camera's on right now is because you've probably seen all these sitting on the passenger seat. I thought they were scratchers or something, but no, they're ticket stubs. AC/DC at the Hilton Coliseum in Ames, December 4th, 1990. Silver Cinemas 10 presents City of Angels in 1998 and Blade in 1998. Pantera and White Zombie at the Five Seasons Center, Cedar Rapids, Iowa, August 6th, 1996. It's literally like 10 days after I was born. Ozfest 97, the Vans Warped Tour and Ozfest 98. Metallica at the Mark at the Quad Cities in 97. The Smashing Pumpkins, October 1996 at the Hilton Coliseum. Ted Nugent, Sick Lily and Bad Company, Hilton Coliseum in 95. Metallica, Iowa State Fairgrounds, June 25th, 1994. What you doing, Mook?
Just tightening the bingo bango.
The bingo bango?
Yep.
Oh, you mean the shift fork for the transfer case?
Yeah, I couldn't think of the word fork.
I've taken our Shifty McGee off. Rod thingy. You know, fork. And I'm going to take this down to the other building and weld it quick. And put this back in, and we're ready for a test drive.
Ta-da!
Good job, Hacker Butt.
Done.
Should we go for a test drive?
Yeah.
It's a little off, it lands on neutral, but it works. So at this point we fire this thing up, check the trans level, and see if it'll drive out of the shop. Let's give it a go. Alright, there it is, 4:30 Wednesday afternoon. The truck I started by myself as a frame Monday morning is ready to hit the road. Let's see if it drives, because I still have no idea if the transmission works. I figured out, by the way, why I wouldn't start with the key. If you crank it and cut it back, it'll fire. So it's that cranking higher voltage system is not working for some reason. Sad now. get out of the building. Come over here and use the special wire to start it, because it's special. Yeah, we be out of fuel. All right, 6 gallons of gas. Let's try this again. Come on, breathe. Try 4 or 5. I don't know.
Oh, sad now.
So as you can see, our 4-wheel drive light is on. I was playing with it there for a minute. It is in 2-wheel drive. Well, at least the transfer case is. But I think the front end works off of a vacuum system, which is god-awful. And generally, if that light's on, it really truly is in 4-wheel drive, where the front end is engaged. So that could be a problem. But let's go put some air in the tires. So dumb. Oh, that's reverse. We're doing it, Mook.
Are we?
A moment ago, we were doing it, Mook. Now we're just rolling away. We're doing it, Mook. Hey, let me, not exactly ideal. God, okay, we're not driving this piece of shit home. Not with this car. And we're rolling again. We're coming down here to get air. The guy says he's got an air compressor, so. Brakes work good. Truck loves to stop and not move. Anything beyond that?
No.
Nah. Yeah, nope. Ooh, that trans is slippy. Damn Quadrajet. This one's junk. I finally found a junk one. Let's go for a little road ride and see how it do. Here, you see, Bill? Oh my God. Man, this was literally a frame 2 days ago. That's nuts. Oh, you know I never grabbed? Fire extinguisher. Whoops.
Okay.
Oh, the brakes kind of suck. The trans slips like hell, the brakes suck. The suspension rides a little goofy. Yeah, I don't know about this one, Mook.
I don't either.
I'm gonna say it's 134,000 miles, not 34,000 miles. Oh, come on, battery. I'm gonna go start from the outside. I don't think we got much battery left. Mook, can you keep it running for me?
I'll do my best.
Alright, bump it. Okay. Switch. slipping out of gear. There's no way in hell I'll make it home. The transmission would be dead in 2 miles. No speedometer. Not running hot.
Hey, this is still very, very, very impressive.
We'll see if we make it up this hill though. Oh, we're losing speed, but not losing RPM.
Oh no.
Oh. Slipped or dropped the clutch to your gear, or... Oh, that's the shift. That's what that is. Oh. Well, there is no way in hell this thing will make it home. Nevertheless, more than like 2 miles. So we're gonna call her there. It smells like a fire.
Yeah, it does.
It's probably on fire.
Yeah.
I won't put it past it at this point. But we did it. We took a ride in our big pile of shit. And that's that. 3 days ago, this was the chassis. Today, I drove it a half mile. That's pretty good. For sale. If we wanted to be a couple of idiots and risk our own personal safety and try to drive something this clapped out home, we could. I like staying alive, and I have a flight to North Carolina at 8 a.m. tomorrow, so there's no way in hell we can be late and we're an hour home. We're gonna let this sit here, come back with a trailer in a couple days, pick it up, and then take it back to Nevada, and we'll at least wash it for them, right?
Yeah.
We'll give it a bath, and then we'll do our outro. See you there. All right, so I returned from North Carolina, hanging out with cars and cameras, grabbed the 6.9 and picked up the Ramcharger. It rained while we were gone, so truck's looking 1,000 times better already. Either way, right now at the car wash, I'm gonna see if we can get this hood to clean up a little bit. It's basically all there is. This and the roof. Let's see what happens. Well, there it is. Hood cleaned up real nice. Sides cleaned up really nice. And most importantly, the roof came out pretty damn well. Pretty decent looking truck for being such a pile of poop. So as you can tell, this thing cleaned up pretty decent. It's honestly a pretty good looking truck. I absolutely love the colors. I love that you can sit in it and see it all the way around you while you're in it. And I love the interior and how nice it is. But at the same time, it has no body mounts. It's got a bunch of big rust holes in the back. The carburetor's poop, and it won't pull any fuel from the tank. To be done right, this essentially needs unassembled again and put together in less than a 3-day crunch so that all the body gaps fit correctly. And I just don't have time to do that, especially for an 86 Ramcharger. So it's going up for sale. I'm gonna go ahead and throw this thing up on Marketplace for $1,500 and see if anyone wants to give it a second chance at life. I'll put the link down in the description. Chances are it'll probably be sold by the time this comes out, but you guys can still use that to follow me on Marketplace and see what cars and stuff we have for sale from the show. With that being said, please don't just message me to message me. That's what Instagram is for. Please leave my Facebook alone. Nothing personal. I just cannot have 900,000 friends. It doesn't work. So that's it from my end of the story of this 86 Ramcharger. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Sorry we couldn't drive it home. I just like staying alive. And there's no way I'm going to drive something with old shitty tires that I know are going to blow up on the way home because I'm not going to put other people in danger. That would be irresponsible of me. We'll see you guys right here next time at Junkyard Digs. Make sure you subscribe, leave a comment, hit like if you enjoyed the video. Make sure you subscribe to Mook's channel, follow Junkyard Coda on Instagram. We'll see you guys next week. Peace.